Um, whoops. You okay? I hope you're okay. Seem to be okay. We're still recording. Hey everybody, it's Bob Nugent for Thole Hill Farm. So, I know I've been gone for a while. Like I said in the last few videos, there probably wouldn't be many because it's summer, there's not much mapling going on. But it's hay season. For some people it's been hay season for a few months. We didn't start till later. It was early June when we started. But so those that follow the Facebook page know that we bought a new baler. There's the old one in the back, which, by the way, is for sale. So if you are interested, give us a message. So I just thought, sorry about that, my hand keeps getting away. I've baled about 1,700 bales through the John Deere baler. And I've baled, in my lifetime, probably 8,000 through the old New Holland. So they each have their pros and cons. The John Deere, obviously, it's newer, so it's a 2000. It was built in 2003. The farmer I bought it from, he didn't buy it till 2004. So it's technically a 16-year-old baler. And the farmer I had said he ran about 20,000 bales through it a year, which to me sounds like a lot of hay. So it's good. I like it. I had some tinkering to do. Like I don't think when the gentleman bought it from the dealer, I think he figured it was all ready to go and he went baling, but there was a couple things that weren't really set right, which once you get in the owner's manual and start looking measurements, the biggest thing was, you can kind of see it right there, there's a bar. So that's the kicker pan, and that's the trip bar. And that was too close. So it was triggering to kick the bales too soon, which then they were somersaulting through the air, which wasn't too bad, but every once in a while it did break a bale because it wasn't all the way out of the chamber yet. So we adjusted that, haven't had any problems. The knotters. So hay bales, for those that might not know, hay bales have string wrapped around them, which actually you can see some bales of string right there on the wagon. So the machine, as the bale goes through, it pulls string through, and then when it gets to length, it trips to tie a knot. So the twine comes up, the knotters make a knot, and then it keeps coming out. So they're the same knotters for the most part between these two machines. They just the John Deere has a couple wear parts that instead of changing the whole piece at the part that they put a wear part on, you just change the wear part, which I guess it's how they got out of patenting rights. But anyway, so yeah, otherwise it's been this new one's been nice. So I figured I'd just talk about what I like about the old one compared to the new one, because there is some features that this old New Holland has that the John Deere does not have. So my biggest thing about this New Holland that I loved, and it's just an age thing, is this is a smaller machine, so I don't mean capacity wise, so maybe I should say that first. So this old New Holland, which I believe is a 65, it's kind of hard to really tell, there's not much records on it, and from what research I've done, there is a serial number split. So what that means is at one point they had the same model, this is a 268, but then they changed something on it, so they had from serial number 1000 down is A, 1000 up is B. All that matters is when it comes to buying parts sometimes. But anyway, so this did, I think it was like 53 strokes a minute or 56 chug-a-lugs. This bad boy does 93 chug-a-lugs a minute at 540 RPM. So that means this flywheel does a 46 full rotations a minute at speed with the tractor. So this thing will eat a lot of hay. This one will also eat a lot of hay, but this one has a different feeding mechanism. So the hay goes in here through the mouth, and then there's fingers that slide back and forth in there that feed the hay into the bale chamber where the bale's formed. This one, maybe I'll just take you up front and show you. This one is a little different design, which John Deere's always had a different design. So this has an auger that feeds it over, and then you can't really see it, but there's actually that's what that thing right there is actually 2 fingers that feed it into the bale chamber when the plunger is back. So then there's a full thing of hay, and then the plunger pushes forward, charges the bale chamber, and makes a bale. But so this thing can eat a lot of hay. The downfall with this machine is this, the kicker. So this literally kicks the bale onto the wagon. You can see the shiny pan. The bale will come on there, sits, then that pan literally goes up and it kicks the bale up, which that's John Deere's design. That's just how John Deere decided to make theirs. New Holland, years ago, came up with a thrower. So there's 2 belts, and as the bale comes up, it gets caught by the belts, and it kicks. Not kicks. It throws the baler. So that's a thrower. John Deere has a kicker. That alone, what the kicker does is it kind of slows down how much hay the baler can take, because the kicker will kick the bale, but it has to come back down and reset before another bale comes out. Well, what happens is if you're baling too fast, you will feed the baler faster than the kicker can reset. So the baler could take a lot of hay and make nice bales with a lot of hay, but you can't do the full capacity of that baler because of the kicker, which is a downfall, but at the same time, like my one neighbor said, it's kind of a godsend at the same time because it makes you go easy. I'm not going to say you go slow, but you go easy, and you make very consistent bales because it's getting fed constantly. So that's where the New Holland, if this was a bigger machine, a more modern machine, I could bale all the hay I want, and as fast as I bale it, as long as the plunger can take it and it doesn't back up in the feed area, it'll bale it and then it'll throw it right out the back. So yeah, but back to my big thing that I loved about this old baler. You see how open it is? So right there, where I'm pointing, that is the nodder system. So, see if we can maybe we'll go around back here. So the nodders, like I said, that's what takes the twine and ties a knot to hold the bale together. So that's the nodders. Whoops. You okay? I hope you're okay. Seem to be okay. We're still recording. Sorry about that. So the nodders, don't know who came up with the idea of a nodder, but it works, so you just go with it. I like this style because from the cab of the tractor, I could watch the nodders. I could watch this sprocket over here spin, and I could watch this arm come up and trigger, and I could actually see these big cams. I could actually watch them spin. So I knew the nodder was nodding, which, I mean, you should figure the nodder is working, but I've heard stories where something happens and your machine is just making knots, which is kind of a pain, but it's really bad if you're not feeding hay, because the whole time it's making knots, it's just making a knot on top of a knot on top of a knot. So it's just not good. Anyway, so that's one thing I liked about it. And that's not just because this is a New Holland versus John Deere. This is old versus new. You look at a newer New Holland, you have the same issue. You cannot see the nodders. Same with the John Deere. The nodders, you cannot see them. They actually have a cover over them that you cannot see anything from the cab. So that's kind of a disadvantage in my mind. But anyway, so you can watch that. The other thing is, you could watch the bales actually come up and get ready to get thrown. So you knew when you were getting ready to throw bales, so when you got to the end and let's say you had to turn, you could actually just kind of sit there. And what was nice, because this pivot, this swings with a hydraulic ram, depending on where the bale is, you could actually walk it out by just moving it side to side, and it would walk the bale forward, and then it would catch it and throw it. And then you could go around your turn and not miss the wagon. So the John Deere, on the other hand, whoops, this kicker called a side hill kick. It'll swivel, it twists side to side because it's going to kick straight. Well, if your baler's sitting at an angle and you kick straight, the bale's going to go at an angle. So you have to straighten, you basically have to level the kicker, and then it'll throw straight. But anyway, that's the other thing. You do not know when there is a bale getting ready to get kicked. So it kind of sucks when you get to the end and you're like, well, is there a bale about ready to go? What's the deal? So that's just another disadvantage. But otherwise, don't get me wrong, I love this machine. It works phenomenal. But the old timers had something with some of the designs on this machine. And also, like I said, it's not a New Holland versus John Deere. The New Hollands, I've talked to my neighbors that have them, they kind of have the same thing. They cannot see a bale going into that thrower. So you kind of have an idea when you're baling, roughly how many, how far you're baling. You get a feel for it. So you get an idea when there's going to be a bale. So you're like, okay, wait, something hasn't happened, what's going on? But you can't see it. But anyway, like I said, this was a great machine. Main reason we upgraded was, like I said, I believe this is a 65, so that means this baler is 55 years old. And we are the third owners of this. I got this from an old employer, and he bought it from another farmer when he started farming. So this baler has been used. It's pretty much always been shed kept as far as I know. I left it out here a couple weeks ago because I had no room in this Kwanzaa hut because we had 6 loads of hay to put in and the baler, and this baler, the John Deere, I'm using, so I want to keep that good. That one, okay, if it got a little rained on, it got rained on. So, like I said though, we do have this for sale. We're asking 15, but I'm always willing to talk. You can message us on Facebook, or if you have our numbers, give us a buzz. Like I said, the main reason we upgraded was just to get a newer baler. This baler, I ran, according to the counter, I ran 503 bales. And I had a couple bales break, but the main reason they broke was I had the thrower, and I was on a tight corner, and they actually hit the uprights of the wagon in just the right way, and they broke. So I really had no problem with this baler. This was a very good baler. It'd be great for somebody who does not do a lot of hay, or if you do a lot of hay, you don't mind going slow, because if it's very light, you can doubles, possibly triple. If this is heavy first cutting, you're only going to do single rows. That's all you can do. John Deere, I have baled doubles, triples, and quadruples this year. So that's 2 rows, 3 rows, and 4 rows. And it honestly hasn't missed a beat. Like I said, I had a couple problems in the beginning with the one nodder, and thought it was a twine issue, so I changed the twine. That seemed to have fixed it. After I changed the twine, I baled about 200 bales, had no problems until the very last bale, it broke. So I did some looking into it. I had to make an adjustment. After I made the adjustment, I baled 485 bales of hay yesterday, Wednesday, with this baler, and it did not skip a beat. The knotters worked fine. All 485 bales all had good knots. None of them broke. The kicker screwed up a couple times. The kicker came down and it caught a bale that was coming out. That goes with that style machine. So, anyway, like I said, they're both very good machines. They've been working, they work great. And at first I wasn't going to get rid of the old New Holland. I figured, use it as a backup or a spare in case this went down. Then I really got thinking about it. What's kind of the point to make this machine, shed this machine, let it sit for God knows how long, and then the day I might need it, expect it to just work. Which, the way it is, it's working when I put it away. It should work when I bring it out. So, but anyway, like I said, it's for sale. You want to come look at it? We'll hook it up to the tractor. We'll run some hay through it if you want. It's all in really good shape. That's the plunger arm. So, like I said, this one has a thrower on it, which was not normal for this baler. And this baler came out. That was maybe an option. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not the baler guru. But somebody along the line was smart and put a thrower on it. Otherwise, you're picking them off the ground, and that's not fun. So, if you're interested, give us a buzz. Other than that, I guess really I'm just starting to ramble on, which isn't a good thing for me. And I keep saying, oh, I gotta stop that. So anyway, yes, that's where we're at. We got a new to us baler, John Deere. Sorry about the lights. It's kind of dark in here, and I'm trying to do some fancy videography. I guess that's the way to say it. So yeah, like I said, means besides their age, they're very much alike. I could probably take knotted parts off of one and put on the other if I needed, but I don't need to. So yeah, again, I'm rambling. I need to stop that. So anyway, that old girl, the New Holland 268 with a, I believe it said 53A thrower on the back. It's for sale. Hit us up on Facebook or call us if you have our numbers, or message us, send us a text message, whichever way you want. Love to chat with somebody about possibly buying that, because it's taking up space and I don't need it. And this guy, no, it's not for sale. This one's mine. So y'all have a good night. Like I said, maybe we'll throw a video up of us actually making hay. It's hard to say. I was kind of hoping to do that with this, but I never got this part of the video done, so I never made a video of actually baling hay. Anyway, y'all have a good night. Have fun. Have a good summer. Enjoy this heat that's coming. Bye.